today I will be showing you guys how to get your beats sounding crazy. Okay, so I got a project loaded up already. I got the drums. Let me just separate the drums so you guys don't get confused. So this is the drums right there. So the first thing before all this, the fundamentals. Before even touching FL Studio, you need to have the fundamentals right. Okay, obviously the first step is to have good samples. I'm sure everybody has good samples nowadays, but if you don't, you can go to brucelane.com, get the right sounds right there. But that's the first step, is having good samples to start with. If you don't, you're already fucked from the start. The second step is go to your master channel, right? Make sure there's some type of clipper on that channel. Okay, in this case I have the TR5 classic clipper. Everything was on default settings. The only thing that I adjusted was the slope, which is at -4.8. For the ones that do not know what a soft clipper is, think of like a ceiling, and then audio is trying to go past the ceiling, but it can't, so it goes back down, and that's what creates the kind of distorting effect, which also creates that hard effect. So that's the second step. So the first step, having the right samples and having a soft clipper on the master. Boom, you're already like halfway there. Okay, the third step is all about leveling. Now for the sake of this tutorial, I'm gonna just adjust these. I'm gonna just put these back on default. So we got the drums right here, boom, and we got the melody. I'm gonna turn that on too. Now before we even hit the mixer, let's open up the channel rack. Okay, these are the drums that I use. I'm gonna highlight them so you can see it. Right now there's two volume knobs, right? There's this volume knob, the actual sample volume knob, and then we got the mixer volume knob. Before anything, right, before you even put it on the mixer track, raise these volumes up to the max. That way you know that all the samples are at full capacity in terms of volume. Right, let's turn the 808 up too, so they're all up. Send that to the mixer track, okay, which it's already on there. But if you don't know how, just highlight the drums and Control L. Guys, we're already like 75% like done with this shit, bro. I'm telling you guys, this shit's easy as fuck. Okay, so boom, I already played a little bit of it and it's already distorted. Okay, now since it's on the mixer track, all we got to do is adjust the levels. First thing I like to start off with is the 808. We're just gonna play it and just lower it down. .808 is crucial because you want it to be hard, but you don't want it to be distorting. So it's really all about listening. But typically, I would want my 808 to sit around 0 dB. Like that's a sweet spot, depending on the actual sample. So if the sample is like already loud as fuck, you're gonna have to lower it. But if it's just a regular 808 sample, then 0 dB is like the sweet spot. Right, considering that you raise the volume up from the channel rack first. So boom, 0 dB. Then after the 808, I like mixing in the melody. Kind of give me just like a guideline to follow. Then after that, then start implementing the other drum samples. So let's start with the hi-hat. The crash, that's a little too loud. Perfect. Clap. Got the snare. The snare is kind of similar to the clap in terms of level. Then we got this little, this little effect. And boom. So that's the leveling part. Pretty simple. Now, in terms of EQ, you do not have to EQ that many sounds, especially if like the sample is already good, right? Like there's no need for me to EQ this 808 because it's fine. It's like it's already good by itself. All right. So in terms of these instruments, probably the only thing I would EQ is like sometimes effects like these or like little percussions like that. I would like, you know, probably cut the low end. But overall, in terms of the drums, you don't really need an EQ. But maybe the melody, like this. See, I took out the low end on this, so it can sound better with that 808, so it just sits perfectly with each other. I do have vocals in this beat.
I love him so, but I ain't gon' put up with his no.
So this is no effects.
I love him so, but I ain't gon' put up with his.
It sounds good already, honestly. All I did was add a reverb, just create that atmospheric vibe behind it. In terms of the EQ, the same shit, just cut out the low end. Then the other thing that I would do with vocals would be putting a limiter or like a compressor on it. But as you can see with these vocals, they're very linear, like they're straight. There's no high peaks anywhere. So honestly, I was like, there's no need to have like a limiter on it. The whole waveform itself, it's very consistent. But that's what I would have on a vocal, would be like a limiter. So let me just summarize the whole guideline. Like, first, having good samples. 2, having some type of soft clipper on the master. 3, make sure to go to the channel rack, have all the volumes of all your drums at the max capacity before you bring it to the mixer track. So raise up all the volume. 4th step, leveling. Start with the 808, bring in the melodies to kind of have that guideline. Then bring in all the other instruments and just level them accordingly. Then I show you the mix down of the melodies itself, taking out low end, raising high end, vocals, the same shit, taking out low end, all of that. And boom, we got a fully mixed beat. It's that simple, boys. You shouldn't be taking an hour, 2 hours mixing this shit. It should take at least 10 minutes. So boom, we're gonna open up another project. I can show you that, like, I use the same type of guidelines for each project, each beat. So I'm gonna open up the Slippin' project. Shout out Slippin'. So the same shit. So let's just hear the beat. So beats like this, right, where there's like no 808s, just straight bass line, like guitar basses. When I go about mixing, I don't start with the bass first. I start with the actual melodic sample or whatever that's the main melody. I start with that first, which in this case is the guitar. So the first thing you gotta do is level. For melodics, typically you want to be around like minus 12 dB range, but this one kind of like jumps up a little bit. Then let's bring in the bass line. So it's just like the 808. You want it to be loud, but you don't want it to be like overpowering the whole last mix. Let's start adding the other drum sounds. Right, it sounds wonky. The drums sound way louder than the actual melodies itself. So we're gonna have to blend this in. To make this easier for us, let's start with the kick drum. Let's start with the melody and the bass. So it's too overpowering the kick drum. Zero dB is like sweet spot. Snare is a little bit too loud, so we're gonna lower that. Bar. Let's bring in the other. That's like a little shaker right there. We got a little hi-hat action. I think it's at a perfect level. So we got this little rim shot. You can barely hear it because it's like... But we're just gonna leave that as 0 dB. But let's just hear it with everything. The levels are perfect. There's no EQ. There's nothing on the actual drums because the drum samples already sounding good. So that's how you get your beats to sound hard as fuck. It's the same guideline that I do for all my beats. Soft clipper, good samples, leveling, then also just to add on EQs, whatever you gotta do, reverb. You just gotta keep it simple, bro. Keep it simple, don't overdo shit. But if you want projects like these, like full on projects, I dropped 5 projects This one is included in the pack. The second beat that we mixed, I put that project in there so you can just dive deeper and see what the fuck is going on. I feel like it's just a great learning experience just to have an actual like project to go off of. I wish I had access to like FLPs. I remember I would search up like certain producers, like exact FLPs, trying to see like the sauce and what they do and shit. So I put that all in one pack. You can go grab that too if you want. But with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video, man. Let's get it if you want. But with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video, man. Let's get it.